penis.
Oh. Okay, so we are currently live streaming.
Welcome, everybody, to the first podcast of 2024.
Yeah, we're podcasting today while we live stream.
Yes.
So just so everybody knows,
Welcome.
we are live. And on this side, you can't see it on the live, but we have a camera on this side for the podcast. So that's what we're doing.
Yes, you are, like a good woman would.
It's only because I am the most experienced.
Chicago style? Give it to you Chicago style. You like in New York City? I'll give it New York City.
I don't know what this is.
New York City.
No, honey.
Yeah.
No?
Yeah.
So I hope all of you got to enjoy John's rendition of Missing Croy today online. If you have not seen it, go check out that video.
Yes. Hey, Croy, you just come back. Just come back.
Oh my god, I hate when you guys put out those videos. John and Trey think they're so funny, and then I'm always so worried because I don't think anyone's gonna get their humor, and it just looks like John's actually like.
Go to the post from January 19th, and you guys will understand what we're talking about. For those of you who are listening to this podcast a little bit later in time.
Yeah, there's a sappy.
So the weird part about it was that we made this. Well, to me, it's you have a project. I don't actually know how I heard the song. Norm Lee will be in the chat somewhere here eventually, and he said that he would give somebody a thumbs up in the comments if they could figure out
what movie
it came from.
I just read that comment.
Yeah. We're out there, and so I was like, I told Turi, I'm like, dude, we have to make a video about like Croy, like coming back and like making people look like think like I just like super missed him, which I do, Croy, and yeah, I want you back. Well,
I thought we were going to get a bunch of comments like, don't worry, bro, he'll come back. Like, don't be upset. Because I don't know if your humor translates to everybody.
Gets my humor,
no,
man.
I will say you've put some posts out there before in the past that you thought was funny, and then everybody was like, it's okay, John. Because you're like subtle with your humor. You're not really like, unless other than like you and Tui did that one like mocha coffee video where you were acting like
that failed.
Complete like goof. And
mocha.
Remember when you were like at the table throwing like coffee beans and people love that.
But then they did not like the one where I went and interviewed our own staff at the coffee shop.
Yeah, because they thought you were being serious.
Yeah.
Because they didn't know you were trying to be funny. And it was just awkward.
Terrible.
And you thought it was funny.
Yeah. The funny part where I was going with that story was, the funny part was coming out of like a very important Zoom meeting. And then going, well, because it's like, it's so important. But then we go into like posting that video, and I'm like, so if the person that I was just having a Zoom meeting with saw this video, and then they know me or they learned about me because of content we make, I'm like, what does this video show? Like 2 minutes after we talk to them, like we post this video, I'm like, I get like nothing, and
hopefully they think that it's funny and have your style of humor, because otherwise you've really missed the mark.
Really missed the mark.
Because I don't know if I find your humor in this funny. Like outside of that, you're funny, but I don't know if that's right. And do you know what I think about? Okay, so right after Christmas when we got home, you put up this video because you were like having this thought about like how it's hard to keep people around, like in Fiji for staff. And you had this like long talk about like...
It's a monologue.
Yeah, your own thoughts about like how it's hard and like some people don't come back after they're gone. And you weren't talking about Croy, because Croy, you had already talked to him and he was coming back. That's been the plan.
He is coming back. Please come back.
Okay. No. And then like, if you were not, I don't know, in the know, like you might think that you're talking about Croy, and then this video... It just,
Croy works on the farm, by the way. He's our farm manager.
Yeah, and he's great. And awesome. I feel a little bit bad for Croy. Hopefully, he thinks it's funny.
I think, yeah. Well, it doesn't matter what he thinks. He's from Lomaiviti, so we do whatever we want to him. He's just here as our little play toy.
Wow. Okay, I don't think you should phrase it like that. Sorry, Croy, I apologize on behalf of my husband. That's not true.
So the relationship, anyways, for those, and this kind of does go into it, just for those of you who are wondering, if you're listening to the podcast, you're not familiar, like when I'm saying that kind of stuff. He's from Lomaviti, which is a province in Fiji that traditionally people in our province and people from there, that island group, we are called Taubu. And nowadays, quick story is we make fun of each other and we mock each other, we force each other to do things that the other person doesn't want to do. And so, yeah, there's a bit of that at play. People will be like, oh, well, Croy's an employee or whatever. It's like, yeah, but, I mean, we also have fun together.
And it works well in Fiji because, like, from what I've seen is, like, you know how everybody says, like, I can't say no? It plays into that, like, particular situation, which works out well because people will be like, they'll slowly walk over to somebody and like douse them with baby powder. Yeah. And the other person does not put up a fight or like make a fuss.
For those of you who are just listening to the audio, there's so many chickens behind us right now. So many chickens.
Annoying. And so many flies today. It's just an invasion of
15 chickens.
Yeah. And you know what, guys? Nobody really eats them. They're just here to fertilize the grass.
I would frag out right there if I could.
Yeah. So anyway, what I'm saying is if people take it really like passively, like they allow you to like powder them or like allow you to like splash water on them. And it's good that it's in this culture because if it was in Canada and you did that, it would become an all-out violent war. Like it gets too far. Like I can't participate in this particular thing because I feel violence in the sense of like, haha, it's funny, but you want to throw me in the water? I will pick you up and drag you to the river and I will sink you.
Did you see that guy in Denaro?
No.
The video show? Oh, yeah.
Oh, no, yeah, I did see that. Yeah.
Did you see that too? The guy in Denaro who was like...
he picked up like a waitress or someone?
Yeah,
or
a girl, and he like takes her down like the boardwalk and then like just like picks her up.
Throws her in the ocean.
And throws her in the ocean. She's like, no. Like, it's all fun and games, but I'm like, dude... You got thrown in the ocean at a marina? Like, I know it's not the type of marina where people like fillet fish and there's like huge like Goliath groupers or like sharks waiting around, but like, I'm not like I don't care about sharks, but I don't probably want to jump in at a marina. And so he just like tossed her in there. And I was like,
no.
Dude, in other countries that could get you in a lot of trouble, especially like that you're a guy doing that to a girl.
Yeah.
Dude,
yeah.
Me too.
And like, he threw her from that's the wrong that's the wrong reference. I just got onto that. That's what? Wrong. No. Me Too is about like sexual violations, not like people
being thrown into water.
Yeah, no, it's not accurate. Oh, okay. He takes that back. So.
I mean, like, no, me too. Like, throw me too in the water.
Okay. Anyway, he threw her from really high, and I was like, dude, no.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
It was all fun and games. I was just like, as a guy, I was like, ooh, that's like a really fully committed, and you don't know what the backstory is to that. Like, they could be like, you know, like, the violets or something like that. But like,
most likely are.
I was just like, oh,
but like, let's say last week, a couple of the girls came up, like young girls, and they told John that they were going to like put him in the river.
Yeah.
And then they like just put their hand on him like very like gently and like we're like, come on, John. And I was thinking like, okay, actually, like, do not make me participate in this. Like, I hid because I was like, I would not be able to just like allow myself to be like guided and thrown in the river.
No, but they like came and they waited for me here when I got home, and they were sitting there waiting for me with a sulu. And so she came, she gave me the sulu. She's like, this is my, what's the right word in English? Like, my offering, not offering, it's like, I'll give you this in exchange. Now I'm going to dunk you in the river.
Oh.
Yeah. So that's where we got the new curtains from.
Oh. I feel like it's like the most like...
So Daddy took a hit. Now we got new curtains. Right?
It's just like the most gentle harassment I've ever seen in my life. And I don't know
I couldn't do it. I tried to escape. I could not.
Yeah, okay. They were like barely, they're like, come on. And I was like, this is difficult for me. Like, if we got down there, I would go down there. This is what would actually happen. If I got guided down there, like Nanda, she's so tiny, I would have picked her up and chucked her in and then laughed and then left.
Well,
I wouldn't have been.
Yeah, I could have done that. I could have just.
I'm not saying
manhandled
you couldn't have done that. I'm saying my soul wouldn't have allowed me to be like, yes, throw me in. There would be like something in me that's like, no, I have to throw you in.
a viral video going around of like Dayada and a bunch of people up in one of the villages just up here.
So some of his relatives.
Tukai, what? Yeah, Kemu, some of my relatives, and it was going around on TikTok, like somewhat viral, right, in Fiji. Twitter, and so they're like in a house
with a
buckets
hose?
of water and a hose. So they have a garden hose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that.
Garden hose in the house. So tradition, for those of you who don't know, I guess we're having this whole conversation, assuming people know what we're talking about. New Year's in Fiji, one of the traditions is that like you wet everybody, like with you just dump bottles of water, buckets of water. Apparently, garden hoses in the house, not off limit, with my family. And so I think it was getting traction on Twitter because people, from what I understand, is that like people are like, no, this is not our culture. This is like embarrassing or humiliating or whatever the words they were using. And
Oh, really?
yeah, people were kind of getting, hey? There were a few comments. I mean, there's always going to be, I mean,
You just can't take like the Nandi Bunda like passion towards it.
I guess so. I mean, you can go hug koala bears and people will get angry at you.
Yeah.
So, but you also get chlamydia. So that would also be bad. But, like...
That's a different kind of hug, honey.
No. Did you know that? That koala bears have like the highest rates of chlamydia in the whole animal kingdom?
Yes, and I'm saying that's a different kind of hug. That is not...
No, I think you can just get it by touching them.
Okay.
Like, I mean... No.
Someone needs some extra education in school.
What?
Honey, that's a sexually transmitted disease. That is not like a huggable, like that's not like a flu. Like, yeah.
Well, dude, sexual interaction for me in high school is like you just like rub my shoulder. That's like, I might have chlamydia right now.
Like, sorry, did I just impregnate you?
Yeah, exactly. I'm like,
Too
oh
far?
my gosh, she loves me. Oh my gosh.
Soulmates?
Yeah, soulmates.
My soul connected with
And
yours.
then, not that this ever happened to me, but then you like ask somebody, you know, after they touch your shoulder like that, you're like, you know, I kind of have feelings for you. And then they say, oh, I'm really busy with high school volleyball or high school basketball.
Yeah, and they're passionate about their sport.
Yeah, in high school. They obviously have no time for you.
They didn't have time for that.
And then when you get married, then they get like really, or you find somebody, then they end up getting really, really jealous and acting like, I mean, I'm going too far. This is not like it actually happened to me. I don't have those things.
It all started from a koala hug. So.
Yes, right.
Just, you know, back to the main point of our conversation.
Yeah.
Where were you going with the koalas?
Back to the Fijian tradition of wedding, like pouring water on people at New Year's. So,
folks, we don't remember how we got there.
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
Yeah, and so that's where we're talking about with the girls who came to the house. Why are they dragging you down to the river? I don't know. It's just this thing, wakatawase, and we just throw water on each other. But because all of my cousins, you know, and those around me have so much respect for me, I only get wet once.
Yeah.
So it's because I'm a very respected person.
I was saying Fiji, so you guys can let us know what you think about this. But like my translation of what Fijians view as respect is silence. Okay? And so silence is respect when you listen
Should
to
we
it.
get my dad in on this?
No. If you listen to
No.
if the elders are here or talking to you, you don't reply, you just do, right? And if you are Mandua, it's respected. Mandua is like timid or subservient and all these things. So you're a quiet person. Like, you guys might not see that in general, but John's not like...
Well, yeah, and when I say I'm very respected, I'm joking.
He's joking.
And this is me. I'm like working to put this, like,
Yeah,
to like talk and like do all this stuff. I'm like trying to like bring it out of me.
John is not like the life of the party. So John's not going down and like hanging out
Police.
with everybody. And so all his cousins and things, and because John's in the Chiefly family, have said, oh, well, you know, like I really respect John. But part of that interesting dynamic, they don't talk to you very much. Or like there's not a lot of like camaraderie with you. And I always say like, oh, to be respected in Fiji is lonely sometimes. Because, and I've heard this from other people, like, was that Croy telling us with that pastor in his village that like now that he's a pastor, like he doesn't get to participate, or like
I can't remember.
There's a pastor. Someone told me the story about this guy that became a pastor in the village, and now he sits at the head of the table. I think it was Croy, and that now like
Croy.
He's not like
Sounds
in
like
the circle of like people that are like joking and having fun. He's like up at the like the respected table, and so a lot of times they'll leave and go have like their own grog party so he can just like have fun with like his peers. Because now he's like in a position of respect.
Right.
And I'm always like, yeah, like it's an interesting, like.
I feel like pastors and stuff must find the same thing overseas though. Like, you know, you have to live in this community and like you are just a dude like the rest of the dudes, but like you don't get to do the same things that everybody else does. Or be associated or be in the same places that everybody else is.
But why not? No, I don't think that's accurate.
No, because like it is like when you're in a position, in certain positions, it's like really, really ultra important. Like say being a pastor, like that you're just above reproach, and not everybody lives by those standards.
No, but like if you're all hanging out, you're not set apart in Canada. Like you, as a pastor, you don't sit at a separate table. You don't get like put at like a place of honor. You're still within typically where everybody else sits. It's not so removed.
Right.
Like, well, you even see in church, like, everybody is, like...
I feel like you're about to cry right now. Your eyes are so watery.
Oh, probably because a fly just
really?
banged into my eye a while ago. No, I'm not about to cry.
You're getting so emotional about this subject.
There's so many flies around here today. It's just like...
Okay.
Yeah.
You just flying into your eyes?
It's not constant.
Oh, okay.
But, no. Actually, if you ever think I'm about to cry, it's typically, like, I can't talk. Like, I'll be, like stuttering, like holding it back. It's not normally like tears first.
Interesting.
Oh, see? Did you see that one?
I did see that one,
see?
actually. I did see that one.
It got there.
Dude, there was a fly that just flew into her eye. That explains why Stephanie's about to start crying when she's talking about pastors sitting at the head table.
Thank you. It's so emotional. Yeah. No, it's just painful.
You're also missing Croy.
Yeah, you said Croy. Oh my gosh, poor Croy. I mostly feel bad.
If you guys got, by the way, because we're doing this live, if you guys got questions
yeah.
or comments or stuff, like just like put it there, and Tui's watching it, and he'll feed it out to us as you guys comment, because we love having these conversations. That's the fun part about doing the podcast live.
Oh yeah.
Is that we get to do the conversation.
So, because we haven't podcast since Christmas break, you know, actually it's been quite a while since we podcast. We took a bit of a hiatus from it.
I actually have no idea what that word really actually means or how it's spelled.
Yeah.
You ever spelled out the word hiatus?
No. Sometimes, oh my gosh, his chickens are back. Sometimes you just use words and wing it.
Maybe
right?
hiatus doesn't actually mean what we think it is.
We will just use it that way though. So we took a break.
Yeah.
We went to Savu Savu for a week. We had paid for it earlier in the year. And it was a good break. Like after the camp, we were exhausted. We cleaned up and then we headed out. And I think we slept for the first like
3 days.
3 days of our holiday. Like mostly it was just like both of us were out, and the kids got a lot of like screen time because you know we were sleeping and just chilling a bit. And then we had a nice Christmas day. One of our friends, friends that invited us over for Christmas Day, the husband slipped a disc in his back, and so we got at Christmas Day and he was just laying on the couch and couldn't walk.
Yeah. So
something I did not know in Fiji is that they called the ambulance, and the ambulance said, well, unless you're dying, like, we won't come pick you up. You're going to have to come figure out how you're going to make your way down to the hospital. But he couldn't move, so they ended up finding another ambulance at the fire department. And they put him on a board and got him in there. So just go down and get some painkillers and stuff. Poor guy.
That was brutal.
Yeah. It was just
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, I felt bad for him. But other than that, the Christmas Day was lovely. We had a nice time.
So we went last night. So actually, for those of you who don't know, my mom and dad, for the other half of the Waka business, are here, and they're visiting us in Fiji. They live in Canada, so they're visiting us in Fiji with one of my best friends, Dawn, and so they're currently inside the house, chilling. Dad's out getting the horse. But last night we went diving in this small little river. So me and Dad, like we used to do when I was a small kid. So I was like, Aliki should come. It's gonna be cool for like my dad, and like not like, and his grandson to experience like something that we used to do together. So we went on and did that. Aliki had a great time, just like watching Uncle Don just like trip everywhere because it's just like the worst. It's like
I
not
will
him.
say
It
it's
is.
really hard.
It's just the most treacherous kind of like branches everywhere, and then mud, and then gravel, then slippery stones, and like stones that will just slice your feet open. So poor Uncle Don, like we just like brought him around just to get destroyed out there. But he did good, and because it's like middle of the night too.
Okay, and did he have a flashlight?
He did.
Okay,
He did.
good.
But we got one fish.
One fish.
One little fish.
So let me take you back in the day. The first time I ever came to Fiji, the first time ever, John.
You were pregnant.
No, was definitely not pregnant. First time we came here, I had 3 flashlights. Okay, the guys told me we're gonna go out and go spearfishing. It's gonna be great, and yet they took all my flashlights, and then I still wanted to go because I was like, well, that'd be fun. So we go out in the pitch black, and of course they take all my flashlights and I don't get one. And then I was kind of nervous because if you've never been in the river at night in Fiji, like there's a reason they filmed the Anaconda movie here because it is so scary.
Dude, yeah, so true.
It's so scary at night.
That's
like,
gonna be a great thought for the next time I go fishing by myself in the middle of the night.
yeah, well, that's all I was thinking about. I was thinking about like, oh my gosh, what's in this river that I'm going to die? And then the guys are like, oh, there's eels in here. So that I was like, okay, it's Anaconda is in the river with me. And then on the sides of the river is just rats. And then I was holding John's shirt.
Just rats? What is this, New York City?
Oh, I'm sorry. There's so many rats and so
There's
much
a
like,
few. Okay.
and you're like, oh my gosh, okay, this is terrifying. And I'm holding the back of John's shirt, and John's so annoyed with me. He's so irritated that I'm along for the ride, like I'm screwing up the boys' time. And he's just like, has my flashlight. And he's like, why can't you see anything? And I'm holding on a shirt because it's pitch black out. And then we go through, and we're with your cousin Aliki and Gase.
Oh, yeah, right.
And we sit on this rock. And so, of course, we're out on this rock, and the guys start telling us like horror stories about like some old woman, this superstition of like, can you hear this baby crying? And they're like talking about all these like creepy things. And I'm already so scared. And then we get back, they caught 0 fish.
No.
You caught 0.
Really?
And then we get back to the house, and then your grandfather's like, oh, you guys caught 0 because she must be pregnant and not telling you. And so the entire thing got blamed on me. And I was like, not the lack of the skill of the men. It's because I must be pregnant. I was not pregnant. It was not my fault.
Wait,
But
lots of things in Fiji, though, can be blamed on maybe she's pregnant and not telling people.
yeah, but that was my first experience out there.
Yeah.
That was, I don't know.
And you've never been night diving since?
No, I have gone. I've gone like 2 or 3 times.
With who?
You guys.
Oh.
Yeah, we've gone
Short-term
again.
memory loss.
Yeah, he's getting old, people.
What do you got?
Just a question
Okay, what's the question?
about the camp.
Oh, what about the camp?
It's from Sen Emily. So did you guys trust the people who handle the money at the 7 Days Festival? Because I see a lot of people handling the money.
Oh, yeah, we did.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we wouldn't have people we didn't trust like handling.
Yeah,
Money.
we brought out people that we would trust as much as humanly possible, and I think part of the reason that we lost money was just communication and people telling us that people would want fruit smoothies or things like that, and they wanted Coke products, or we had to run our generators for the entire event, which was a lot of fuel, or we couldn't make pizza out there, so we had to drive back and forth to go pick that stuff up. It's just a lot of like missed promises and miscommunication. And if we ever did it again, now we know what is actually wanted out there. So
for those of you who don't know, we catered to a 7,000 person camp, wilderness camp, just before Christmas. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I would say, like, I would definitely, I can't say I would definitely do it. I would do it again going into it knowing what I know now, because I think we could do it properly without the amount of investment, and just bringing out the products that actually sold really well. Because overall, like, that kind of event can be fun, but there was a lot of stress for us just because there was a lot of financial stress. And, like, I love camp. Like, John doesn't like camp that much.
Dude,
I
camp
grew
is
up.
the worst.
I grew up.
Nobody
going
should go to Bible camp or any kind of camp for that matter. Military camp, whatever.
No, see, he's so wrong. Camp is great. I grew up going to camp, loving camp. I can't wait for my children to go to camp. It was the best. And, like, you make lifelong friends there. You have great experiences. And for me, when I was out at the camp, I was really financially stressed and overtired. But the best parts for me was, like, going into the camp and, like, we sold pizza in there and I was just driving the staff around and just, like, meeting some of the teens and seeing, like, how fun their experience has been. And, like, I think seeing, like, their joy out of it, even though, like, the conditions were rough, they all had, like, a really good attitude. Those were things that were making, like, the week okay. Yeah. And just, I don't know, the people there are great. And I think, like, good people make good times. So, I don't know. It was a stressful event. I wouldn't want to redo it in the way that we did it.
I don't know, but I feel like my body has not been the same since that event.
Okay, well, I would say...
like, I mean, I'm fine. And, but, like, I was just tired going into Christmas, obviously, just with a bit of less sleep than normal. But then I just feel like I haven't been able to kind of, like, get back to, like, this full, like, I'm getting, like, some nights I'll get, like, 7 hours of sleep and I'll wake up tired.
Yeah, John
me.
got really sick. You normally need, like, 4 or 5 hours sleep max and you're good to go. John got really sick the last, like, 2 days of our holiday. And then I got sick maybe, like, a couple days after we got back to the village. And
our bodies held up. I was like, I don't care. Like, well, I told Croy, I'm like, this doesn't matter. This camp is, like, big opportunity, which it was not. And so, like, let's just kill our bodies. Like, I'm good to get sick. Like, I'm just going to just no sleep, whatever we need to do. And then didn't get sick during the camp. Didn't get sick for all of Christmas, most of Christmas holidays.
Weird.
And then, like, 2 days before we checked out, or a day before we checked out, just, like, got smashed.
fever.
Like,
Yeah.
whoa. Okay.
You were not doing it. And you had the weirdest lump. John's lymph node swole up to, like, a small baseball, like, under his armpit. He just had this, like, goiter under there.
My lumps. Man.
My lovely lady humps.
Hey.
Check it out.
Check it out.
Yeah. I get you. But it was really gross. And John would be like, touch it. Feel it. And I'm like, I don't want to. Ew. And he'd be like, no, like, feel the thing. Yeah, but with that came a lot of... You did.
But it wasn't a boil, guys. It was not a boil.
It's not a boil. Now. It was his lymph node that had been swollen and protruded out.
I was also supposed to go... the most upsetting part of it all was I was supposed to go and make some content with...
Yeah, you were so upset.
So upset with a very famous...
No.
And, like, a hero of mine, rugby player from back in the day.
Actually?
And so I wasn't able to do it because I was not feeling well. And so... But I think we're going to reschedule, and we might be going out in the next couple weeks. What did you have to? Hit us. Well, like, there's so much veranda, guys. There's all the veranda. You guys have to come up this little.
Yeah,
like,
because the kids they wanted to podcast with us today, so they have to be in it somehow.
Sorry, everybody. You're saying?
Normally, fly trivia. Flies' lifespan is about 30 days. During their life, they can lay up to 500 eggs in batches of around 75 to 150.
Whoa.
Gross.
Dude, they might have just laid like 15 eggs in your eyes.
Ew! Don't say that!
Who needs eye drops when you got Stephanie's fly eyes?
Okay, so when I was a kid, there's this story. I don't know if it's true, but I do deeply believe it, okay?
This means it's not true, guys. This lady is full of...
No, I do believe it. I don't even know what the source is, but I have this, like, thing in my mind. It's not about flies, but it just kind of reminds me of it. So my mom told me this thing about this guy. He had, like, this lump on his face, and this will disturb you so deeply. And he had this lump on his face, and he didn't get it checked out by the doctor. And he was like driving down the road, and one day like it exploded, and it came out all these baby spiders. It's like while he was driving, just covered his face and like went all over him.
Dude, that's just somebody with arachnophobia. That's not a real story.
Honestly, I think it is. I just remember hearing my mom tell me that story like it was a true story.
Like, oh, I wonder what this thing is in my face. Oh, shoot. It feels like there's like, it's growing every day.
Well,
That could have been what was in my armpit.
You didn't go to the doctor and get it.
Giant spider.
Here's the thing. You didn't go
body.
to the doctor and check it out. It could have. You don't know.
It actually could have been.
It could have been, and you wouldn't have known. You would have just let it explode and have those babies crawling all over you. So let that be a lesson to you. If you have a goiter or like some kind of growth, go to the doctor. Don't be like John.
Don't be like me.
He's not responsible.
I do have a fear of holes, actually. Have you ever seen pictures of like things with a lot of holes in them? Have you?
You like holes, huh?
Huh? No.
He said he has a fear
I have a fear of holes. Yeah, I'm very afraid of them.
Dewey's face is just great.
Have you seen pictures with like things that have like heaps of like frogs, like they have all these holes in the back where they like lay their eggs inside themselves?
Yeah.
And then like the eggs hatch, the things hatch out of the back of it. Like pictures of, it's a weird thing, but anyways, pictures of things with many holes. It really freaks me out.
Yeah, well, that's a good thing.
Yeah. Anything else?
Never trust a frog. Dude, Shaky, he can't handle it. The conversations.
What do we got?
So the other night we were doing Don's birthday party. This is another fear for you. Oh.
Okay.
Normally,
what did normally say? The guys, because we're on the live right now, so.
when a fly hits your eye, like fresh tea and coffee pizza pie.
Some more? Hey, don't say that.
Yeah. Come on, flies. She more.
So the other night we were at the coffee shop. Was this last night? It was the night before.
Night before.
Night before. We were doing Don's birthday there, and then.
That's my mom, by the way, for those you didn't know.
Yeah, you see her.
Pushing a wheelbarrow.
Yeah, that's.
In her high-vis shirt.
Judy Batty.
Yeah, such a bright shirt. Okay.
And you saw the largest centipede, just like.
Dude, I also have a fear of things with many legs.
You were going on about it when we got home. You were just so disturbed.
Dude, I've never seen a centipede that big before, though. And like I know, like other people have, but like the way they kind of like snake in their little legs, just like. I picture that being like the sound that a centipede hears of itself when it's walking. It's like.
So we have some friends. Hi, Dave, if you're on the live. And Tina, they live like 20 minutes away from us. Yeah. 40 minutes. I don't even know how far.
Dangerous part of Honolulu.
Apparently, right now. And they said that one of the houses that they rented was infested with those things.
Oh gosh, dude!
And that they like have them like crawl in their bed and like they're just everywhere. Like I would be out of there so quick.
Hard pass.
Yeah, there's no way I would have stayed there.
No.
I would have ran away. Anyway, speaking of Tambia, that's where they live. There is a recent like news report.
Okay, not from where they live, but anyways, in that area.
In that area, what happened recently that we heard about?
In this area of our beautiful, lovely island, full of friendly, well-meaning people, there was apparently, and we heard this from the Roko's office, there was the Roko is like the people who manage the affairs, the relationships between the government and the local Itoke Fijian population. So they came and told us that there was a house in Tambia that a guy was walking past, he heard screams out of it and banging on the door, stuff like that. And so he went over and there was like several, to my understanding, preteen and teenage girls of mixed races in there that had been locked up, and somebody had been taking pictures of them. So for whatever messed up reason, I don't know if this is true or like what's going on, but like this hasn't made the news or anything.
Which is
it
shocking?
But like, is it? So anyway, so we've now had to implement like 6 o'clock curfews for our community and stuff like that. But nobody's reported on it. So I'm like,
I don't understand how it's not been like this big news report that people need to be aware of, because they put in like officially you're not allowed to have your children out in our area. after 6.
Yeah.
So how is this not like a big news thing that people are being aware of? Or like, did we miss it?
Yeah, I have no idea. Maybe we missed it.
Yeah. I feel like that kind of thing, community-wise.
Maybe it's old news.
No, what people need to be aware of that. People need to be
Yeah.
aware that there is risk to having, your children out there unsupervised, and they can't just be roaming around, especially if those kind of things are happening within your community. Like, be careful. I don't know.
What do you think? Yeah.
What?
No, never mind. I'm not going to get into that.
Why?
It's just not wise.
No? Okay.
No. What else do we?
It's fine. We're trying to move on from this topic. But
Yeah.
Upcoming for us in the next few weeks here, we're supposed to be doing a tour with this gentleman that lives out of Savu Savu. They have a program for rugby that they're trying to promote. So we're going to be going around talking about this program. Can you give us like an elevator pitch of what the program is?
Yeah, I have to look it up on my phone.
We wrote it. We wrote like a quick
right
pitch about what the actual program is. Sometimes like when you have new businesses or you have ideas, they're like long-winded in the explanation, and it's good to have an elevator pitch, which means that like you have the time that you get into an elevator to explain what the program is.
So this is what I would say to the ideal person that would be listening to this. The ideal person listening to this would be in charge of a rugby club of some sort overseas. Boys, girls, amateur, high school, whatever. So take a rugby holiday in Fiji, and together with gold medal Olympians, train local Fijian youth, inspiring them to pursue their future in rugby.
So it's pretty much, the idea is there is a resort that wants to host people to come and have a Fijian holiday while playing rugby with locals, training them, enjoying...
Not just people, but clubs.
Rugby clubs. Yeah, rugby clubs, like groups of...
So if you go to a rugby academy, like in Australia or New Zealand or the US...
Or Canada.
Or in yeah.
Let's include Canada.
Yeah, Notre Dame, I guess.
Yeah.
If you go to, say, a rugby academy or something like that, then you would come to Fiji on a 7-day, like, kind of like holiday adventure.
Rugby experience.
And you team up with some of the gold medal winning Fijian Sevens players, Olympians. And you would go around to different communities, training different clubs. And this would allow these guys to make an income, make a living, and hopefully in the end be able to put together a team of youth that like you guys find that are like super, super talented and go overseas to play in competitions in Australia, New Zealand, and in the US.
Yeah. And I think it would be a cool experience. I like the idea. I think it would be a really cool way to integrate rugby with vacation lifestyle, especially for Australia because they're so close.
Yeah.
Within Fiji, and inspire some of the youth to pursue rugby.
Yeah.
And what a cool experience to come in and have people like possibly, if they can get them on board, Jerry Tuai, and what's the other guy's name that they have? Yeah.
And Semikunatani.
Yeah, some of the guys that they've talked to. So part of what we're going to be doing is going around Fiji and talking to some of the heads of rugby, just different influential people. They have a documentary that they're apparently filming right now. Or, no, they filmed over Christmas, and they're editing right now, just to kind of share their vision with everybody. So
that'll be all coming out very soon. So thank you guys for the support anyways on the Jerry Tuai video.
And why do you like that? What's your history in rugby? What do you like about rugby? Why are you passionate about it?
Oh, well, because, so the two things I always said I loved in life before I had kids and a wife was like, number one is fishing, number two is rugby. And so that's what I spent most of my time doing. It was either training for rugby or playing rugby and fishing. And so that's just what I enjoyed the most. And so played rugby all growing up and into our early years of marriage before somebody said that I couldn't play anymore because it didn't pay the bills.
I did not say that. Actually, before we moved here...
I didn't say you, I said somebody.
Before we moved here, John and I had a serious conversation. I said to him, you get to pick. You either pursue rugby, and I will back you, or you pursue business.
Sugar mama.
No, I didn't mean like financially back you, which maybe, yeah, okay, sure. I would have to. If you're going to be doing rugby,
Yeah, true.
I would have had to be your sugar mama.
Dude,
but
I can make like $200 a game.
woo. But I was saying, like, either you pursue rugby and that's what your passion and your pursuit is, or you pursue business and you put rugby aside because you cannot do both.
Ooh.
So he had
Hot
to
take.
pick.
Yeah.
Well, you did. And you've already had 2 knee surgeries.
Yeah. That's true.
So I was kind of like,
Worth it.
cross my fingers, please pick business, because like I like watching rugby. I enjoy, no, I don't like watching like the day-to-day games, but give me like a good like sevens, like the world tournaments, and those are so fun. So I'm there for that. But
It's not because of the short shorts and the 6-packs and all that stuff.
I don't see any 6-packs on the field. I do see short shorts. I don't know if
I've heard multiple women comment on that. That's like a really like attractive kind of
you know what?
outfit.
I'm not there for
Is
it.
that why you wear shorts?
That's why I wear short shorts.
John wears short shorts because
Well,
he
apparently
has.
my wife doesn't like short shorts, so I wear it for only myself and I.
Your body style, you have very big legs. You have to wear short shorts, or you would.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to. That's your
Yeah.
body style. It's a fashion choice.
Big trunk.
Yeah. Showing off my heavy quads.
Heavy quads, yeah. Actually, I would say the most attractive sports outfit to
Oh
me
gosh.
is
Get it.
baseball. Dude,
I hear about this every day.
that's just sexy
Put on
outfit.
your Yankees uniform. It's like, I don't want to. Put it on. It's like, okay, fine, I'll put it on. So every morning I wake up in my Yankees uniform. No?
Yeah,
Can you
okay.
imagine just waking up in a baseball cap with like a belt and just like some like
You're
some
like,
striped
honey, I'm
pants?
home.
Wow. Right.
Baking some goods
She
over
in
there.
Yankees uniform?
Yeah, okay, so
Size small.
size small. Yeah, that's some tight pants.
Broken.
Huh?
Those would be the pants where you like go to the store and you like try to put them on. For those of you that don't have big legs, you've never experienced this, but those of us that do, we've all experienced when you go to put on a pair of jeans and then you like try to pull them up, but they're cut wrong and they like don't go above like your like thighs.
Yeah.
You're like, no, this is my size. Why is it not going up? Like what's going? And it's not that you've gained weight; it's just the wrong cut. Those would be those pants because size small.
So, what are your goals this year? So if we could split life up into like spiritual, family, business, and recreational.
Oh, I have zero recreational goals.
Okay. Me too.
Zero.
Yeah. I enjoy our lives.
Yeah. I wish I had more, but I don't know what else to do. Family-wise, I'm homeschooling the kids this year.
What is your goal? Measurable.
I don't really do that. I don't really have like survive the year, nobody dies. We are homeschooling. My mother is like the most amazing homeschooler parent in the whole world in my estimation. And when I think of what she did for us as children, I get stressed about homeschooling my kids because I know that I will fail so badly in comparison to what she did for us. Like my mom just went like above and beyond. Like if we were doing science class, she'd go to a farmer and find like a cow's eyeball and like we'll dissect it at home and learn about like how an eyeball works. Or we had like a study on like prison systems and she got the like prison to like let us in and tour the facility, and like she just really went for it and she was like dedicated to making it the best experience ever. And me, I just want our kids to like 2 + 2. Like I had a really low bar.
What do you think allows a person to be able to be good at that? Homeschooling. Your own kids.
I think it's just a goal that like you want to be great at it. And like I just never really wanted to homeschool our kids. I just feel the need to do it this year because
Just falling a bit behind.
I just
Yeah, that's the question.
Oh.
Why are you homeschooling?
Yeah, because I think the education system here, for whatever reason, is just, it feels like it's letting us down a bit. And so that's,
yeah.
go ahead.
I don't have like a high bar for my kids to be
Yeah.
the most educated. But I will say there's a couple, the style of education where we are is memorization. It's not problem solving. And so that's a problem for me because I want my kids to know like why we do things.
Yeah, and so can I piggyback off that?
Okay.
Like, that is one thing, and I think actually we were talking with a gentleman today, and he put it in really good words. Like, because we always want our kids to ask, like, why? About everything. Like, whether it's faith in, like, why do we believe in Jesus? Like, why? Why do you do things in that way? Because if you ask the question why, it makes you less susceptible to people just being able to tell you what to do and you just, like, answering for it. And so what the gentleman said today was, like, we tried to create in our kids, like, we tried to make them be critical thinkers. Not critical, like you are negative about everything, but simply that you ask why. Because people who ask why are the people who end up solving the world's problems.
Well, and then also,
Like,
his example was that, like, you know, when you come into a problem, especially within faith, you ask, like, you've asked why you believe this, and so it's your own.
Yeah.
You've made that faith your own. It's not because mom and dad believe it. It's not because you've been told to believe it. You've asked, why is this true? Why did this happen? You know, those kind of things are really important to make your own instead of just being told, believe this, and you just follow along because you were told that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So contrast that with the way the kids are learning now, the memorization style.
Yeah.
And so what the way in which the kids learn in school here is a lot of memorization. So say for instance, like one day they learn sun, the next day they learn the word flower, and then the day after that they learn the word sunflower. And so it's like sun, but like they don't learn that like OW says ow.
Yeah.
ER says And so whenever you see that pattern, you know, they would just learn the whole word like flower. So they can just memorize that, like when L comes after F, O comes after L, and so on and so forth, that word says flower.
Yeah. And
Does that make sense?
I just felt like especially with Seva, within the group atmosphere at kindergarten, I think him in particular, I think he needs a little bit more one-on-one instruction because he gets bored so easily. And so within a group, he's distracted because it's not difficult enough or, you know, he wants to be challenged. And he's a very strong-willed kid. Aliki's actually quite a bit easier to teach in the sense that he's a perfectionist, but he'll work on it until he gets it, where Sevenaya is very strong-headed and wants to be, like, already correct.
Yeah.
And I was finding they were really behind at school from some of the things that I was just asking them. And then I would do a day of teaching with them just to try and, like, catch them up because I'm like, oh, are my kids struggling to learn? And I saw that, like, they weren't having any learning issues. It was maybe just the style of learning. And so we're going to give it a go this year and just see if that changes anything for our kids. And I think with homeschooling, if we're really productive, that we only have to do half a day because I have a lot of work to do. So it's putting a lot more on...
Not even. The kids at this age, they need like 1.5 to 2 hours.
Yeah, but it has to be like dedicated hours.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I think John's going to help me split them up in the morning, maybe take one of them. And I think, like, let's say with Seva, because he's so young still, he just turned 5 in September, that, like, if you can do playing by learning and jumping in the river, or do something active that will stick more. And with Aliki, we can do more desk work and dedicated time. But I just think, like, this is what's good for them right now. And John and I are not, I don't think my kids need the most, like, intense education unless they want to be a doctor or they want to be something in academics. Then I will push them full-heartedly into more difficult schooling situations and such. But otherwise, my preference would be that they are leaning towards business.
If you have a bunch of people in a society that ask why, or like if you don't have these people that ask why, it takes a very smart person to basically lead the sheep and tell them what to do. But like if you have a bunch of people that are asking why, it creates an accountability for that group of people, and it means that like people, even if there's not a problem, people will come up with better solutions to whatever thing that you do or the way in which you do it. And so like I just want to raise like guys who ask why.
Yeah.
So that they can think for themselves.
And I will say the downside about homeschooling is I really liked the teachers in the school that we were in, and the headmaster and stuff. Like, they were good at teaching like principles of life, and like, they did care about their students, and I did like the school itself.
They don't make the curriculum.
No. And it was just kind of a personal preference for us that I was going like, okay, let's take a step back, because they're not as far ahead in education as I think they should be. And so let's just see if that's true from a year off.
We might do this and be like, holy crap, we're the worst teachers. And actually, they are worse off learning from us than they are in the school system.
Yeah.
So, like, don't ever take our, like, stuff like we know everything.
Yeah, we're going to give it a go.
We're going to try it. But, like, that's what life is, right?
And the good thing is, like, I was homeschooled, so I know, like, kids can be tricky. Like, I was tricky when I was homeschooled. I always find, like, the answer book and things like that. So
one thing that you have to, like, ask yourself is, like, is school actually, and because I've asked myself this, and I feel like all of us parents need to ask ourselves this question. Is school just, like, it's nice to have the kids out of the house, it's like a daycare that is, like, useful? Or, like, could I do this better myself and my kids be further ahead in life than if I didn't just pass them on to the system to, like, look after them for the day?
Yeah, because I feel like that is the choice for me. Actually, homeschooling is a huge inconvenience for us.
Oh.
I have never wanted to homeschool. I'm terrified of doing it. I am going to be doing double the workload this year with homeschooling. So it's not an easy decision for us. I just felt like it was a necessary decision for us this year.
Yeah.
And the nice thing about living in the village is our kids will not be...
Croy can teach.
Our kids won't be under-socialized. Like, we have all the playtime and socialization that they need here. So, because we're just surrounded by community. So, I think it'll go well. You have to
But we
help.
also have no idea.
Well, yeah. I know I can do it.
Yeah.
I know how to do 2 + 2. Once they get older, they're on their own.
So, to kind of summarize this all up, what's important to you right now, and how are you dealing with it?
I feel like you should answer this. I feel like I just was talking so much.
Okay, so homeschooling?
Yeah.
That's important to you?
Yeah. Like, let's talk about you.
Let's talk about me. What do you want to talk about?
Okay. No more singing? I can't do any singing quotes?
No.
These flies are really getting to me.
Flies
how are you dealing with the flies, and what's important to you right now?
What's important to me?
Yeah.
Man, I feel like we've got some big things on the table business-wise this year. And so this is kind of like a make it or break it year for us.
I think so.
And, as far as, like, not like, we leave Fiji or whatever, but, like, we have to drastically change the way we do things. If this doesn't work, like spending so much time creating content.
Yeah.
And going about it this way. That being said, I'm more driven than ever to, like, do this and, like, take this stuff to the next level, doing lives, doing podcasts, and doing this sorts of things. But,
like, I hope we can put out double this year than...
I want to put out, like, triple. Like, I want to, like, go, like, send it to the moon.
Yeah.
And so I want everybody to not be able to escape us. And even if they unfollow us, that we still show up in their feed.
Oh, actually, that is, like, the ultimate goal. You know, like, when you're, like, I have these people on my scroll that always dance. And, like, I don't actually think I want to see them. And I've never followed them before.
Dude.
They just show up all the time. And I'm like, I don't know if I like these people. They're just always in my face.
Dude, I clicked on this one, or tapped on this one. It was, like, this big black African dude dancing. And I, like, tapped on it. Dude, I get big black dudes dancing, like, every day now in my feed. And I'm like, I just looked at it once because I was like, what's going on here? And now the algorithm's like, dude, you're
Croy,
big black
can you
jackass.
stop dancing?
Well, he's not big. Croy's black, but he's a little short. He's smaller.
You know,
Huh?
no, it's not big.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah,
don't listen to the
it's-
background
yeah.
comments. I will say the best thing about Croy, and there's another kid in our village called Roy, is our children think they're like the strongest people in the world.
Oh, yeah.
And there's a huge difference between the two of them. Like the one is like 16, looks a little bit jacked, and then there's Croy where he's like older, but he's actually so strong, like an ox. And then our kids are
an
like,
ox.
you know, like Roy and Croy.
He's
And
an ox.
I'm like, dude, you can't. That's not the same. That like one is like a 16-year-old kid that looks jacked. He can't lift the
Yeah.
same. There is such a thing as like developed
Dude,
muscle.
it's been a long time since the guys told me to move over, let me lift it.
Yeah.
And Croy said that to me the other day, and I was like, okay. We were moving like this, like, yeah, we were this like big like water tank on the farm, and it was like, it had like 300 and some liters of food in it.
So
And I was like, like trying to get into the back of the truck, and he's like, okay, just wait, I'll come. He's like, okay, move. And I'm like, okay, oh. And he's just like, lift it up. I'm like,
You're like, I was shamed.
somewhere out
Oh my
there.
goodness.
Well,
Okay.
what's important, you know what, actually at the end of last year, I'm not gonna lie to everybody, like, my devotional life really sucked. Like, spending time with Jesus. Like, one-on-one, like, just reading my Bible. And, dude, I'd read my Bible, but I guess what I'm saying is, like, one thing that hurt, that I loved doing was my journaling.
Oh yeah.
And like, not because like I believe you need to journal to progress. It's just like, it just works well for me. It forces me to slow down. And that is one thing that I'm trying to do better at this year. And that's not like a family thing or a youth thing. That's a me thing. And so
Yeah.
I just feel like better about my days. I feel like it calms me and helps me to collect my thoughts. And so journaling is something that is important to me that I want to get better at this year. What do you want to get better at this year?
What do I want to get better
Honestly.
at this year? I want
You're
to
pretty
get
good at
better at. I'm so good at everything. I want to work out a little more this year. There's something about being so hot in Fiji that like it makes you more stationary, and I've never been so stationary in my life. Like the lack of movement that I do in this country is astounding. And I'm like, I don't leave the house that much. I do a lot of office work. I just feel stagnant, and I just need to do some more like physical movement.
Does this have
year.
anything to do with the new year? Like, does the new year actually do anything for you mentally?
No, it doesn't. I want it to, but it doesn't motivate me at all. My birthdays motivate me. When I see my birthday coming up, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm getting old. And then I'm like, how am I not, like, I need to be more fit. Like, my birthday's coming. When my birthday comes, I'm like, dude, my birthday's coming. It, like, stresses me out a lot.
Dude.
So that's why. My birthdays are my self-motivator. The age, I'm like, I should be way more fit right now. I'm not that
Botox
old.
season, baby.
It's Botox season. I'm 33, going on 34 in Feb. Your mom freaked me out because she got your age wrong, and I'm 2 years older than you. And she got your age wrong, and she said you were turning 33 this year, which means I would have been turning 35, and I was like, no, I'm not that old, am I? I was like, oh my gosh, am I turning 35 this year? And then I like actually had to Google it. I was like, there's no way, she must be wrong. And normally she's very accurate, so it made me have like a mental breakdown. I was like, she's definitely right over me. I was like, no.
That's funny.
Anyway, I gotta go make dinner. We're gonna wrap up the podcast.
All right.
Unless Tui he had a signal, but I think they can do that in the live.
Yeah?
Okay,
Well,
they're going to
so we're
switch to the live. I'm going to go make dinner and get away from all these death flies.
These death flies.
This podcast was sponsored by Fresh Tea and Coffee, and we are out. I'm leaving. John will continue.
All right. Welcome back to On the Mat, everybody. My name is Jonathan Bhatti, and the time right now is 5:42 in Fiji. Usually we start these at 4:30. Welcome. Welcome to you all. Oh, what an exciting day it's been. We went up to the...
Yeah, you guys went up to the border.
Yeah, we went up to the border today. The border is like the crossing between Samosata and Labasa, so it's kind of like the highest point, and at that point there's a spring. And we all know if you've been here, you stop there, you fill up your water. It's the best water on planet Earth, actually, and I'm not just saying that. So I was there, and there was a family actually. Dude, the chicken is so loud. There's a family that the landowners of that piece of land. They asked me if I could make a video about asking you guys to spread the word to get people to stop littering in that area where everybody always stops. And so, yeah, so I did a video. We filled up a bunch of water bottles, and so, yeah, obviously, littering is bad. It's just like it's sickening to see like in that spot, like where we all like cherish the opportunity to be able to go up there and get water. Like I went there from Sanganga. People go there from Sabu just to fill up their water containers.
Right.
So, like we all benefit from the fact that like these landowners have built like a nice retaining wall, put the pipe there, cemented it off so the pressure and the flow is nice coming out of like the rock. There's just a pipe coming out of the rock, and it's like, you guys think that like you get to, not you guys, but like people out there, it's like you think you get to come and abuse this spot and then take of its resources for free.
Right.
It's like, you'd be surprised one day you show up and there's a fence around that whole area and nobody can get in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll happen. So people need to know
Yeah.
not to be a tosser. Don't be a tosser.
Oh, you got the video though.
Yeah, I got the video. I got to send to you. It's on my mom's phone.
Yeah, so okay.
And I got some B-roll.
Awesome.
Yeah.
How was your week though? And with Dad here.
Yeah, it went by
That's been
pretty
good.
quick actually. We planted some pumpkins on the farm. We did some repairs around the house. And so, yeah, I've just been hanging out with him. We did some runs. We did a 10K on Monday. And then it's been really rainy ever since. We're planning on doing 10 every day, but it's just been bad weather.
Huh.
So, yeah, just getting used to it. So we've been running a little bit, but just not as much as we planned. So getting back in shape, doing that kind of stuff. So it's been fun. And then, yeah, just doing some projects around here. Had some big meetings this week. It's always kind of like, it's always interesting trying to balance like work and family when family or friends visit, because like the show must go on. Like our employees still need to eat and feed their families. So I can't just not, like, you don't just get to shut your business down when visitors come over.
Right.
And you don't just get to take time off. And so people think that like when you have a business, like you have no boss, but like just all your customers are your boss now. And so it's just always, I'm not complaining about it. It's just a balance to be like, hey, I need to get some work done, need to prioritize family. And so, yeah. I mean, the contrast that, the other side of it is that like my parents, you know, that they come and I work a normal job that I ask for time off for, and I can only get like a week, you know, and then they're here forever, and then I have to go work a 9 to 5. So it's actually better than the 9 to 5, but yeah. Is Croy still there?
He's probably in the boat right now, cause.
Did he say he's making his way?
Yeah.
Oh,
He
see,
said
you
he's
make
gonna
a
be
video?
traveling tonight, and probably be here tomorrow morning or sometimes around the day.
See? As soon as we make a video, just ask Croy to come back.
And he's like,
Then he's like, okay,
yeah,
fine, I'll
I
come
have to
back.
go, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's time for me to go.
It's that Somewhere Out There song. So has anybody figured out what movie that was on?
I don't know. Normally he's not right now in the chat.
He's in there?
Yeah.
Because I don't know the answer to that question.
Where did you heard it from, though? Was it a?
I think it was an Instagram
reel?
Reel, maybe. Yeah.
Was it a funny one?
I can't remember, to be honest with you. Sorry, guys, I'm not on my phone. I'm just trying to bring up our speaking topics of the day.
Yeah. Well, speaking
Oh,
of topics,
actually,
did you heard about? You know, we talked about we talked about the drug bust around this week. So,
what about it? A bunch of it went missing?
police officer who allegedly fled with meth charged.
No. Really? Yeah, I saw that coming. No way, really?
Yeah,
Really?
Dude. And it was so funny because just like when that news article came out about the drug bust,
Yeah.
like guys on Twitter. They were going on like, oh, just wait for the rats to like eat it. You know, because you heard about this article. I think it was like way back. I don't know, 2014, 20 something, in Totongo police station.
Okay.
There's a bunch of marijuana that or like drugs. I think that they did like a drug bust somewhere.
And they stored it.
They stored it, and then I don't know, within a couple of days or something, it went missing.
What?
And then the article came out that the head of police back then said that the rats and all these things ate it and went missing.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So when this when this article
Come
came
on.
out, everybody's like, yeah, just wait for the rat to eat it.
Get out of here.
And then this article came out like, oh, now we caught the rat.
Funny. Now the rat has been caught from last time.
Yeah. All right. Let me read the article. The suspended police officer who allegedly spilled meth from a wrapped container at the Namaka Police Bureau and fled the scene has been charged. He was produced in the Nani Magistrate Court this afternoon.
Get out
The
of
charges
here.
are in relation to drug possession. Assistant Command and was arrested on Tuesday from Naisoso in Nandi. Dude, they just
yeah.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
was a Tuesday.
Dude. Checking it out.
Yeah.
He's all high.
Yeah.
Guys.
Dude, I used to like see like in the news those police officers when they do their Marwan, eh?
Yeah.
Start
Dude.
laughing, yeah.
Dude, he's just like there. Pretty classic.
Oh,
Pretty
man.
classic. I do have some questions from last week.
Okay.
I'm
Yeah,
going to
wanna
keep
read
this
it
short
out?
today, guys, because I got family here and stuff like that. But can we plant beetroot in Fiji? That's a good question. I've never seen any of the planting material, but I would assume it would grow. I mean, sugarcane in Florida and stuff like that for beetroot, because I think it has been. Like, here's the thing about like different businesses and corporations. Like, they have to ask themselves, like, what are you in the business of? You know, like, what are you actually in the business of? So with like FSC, Fiji Sugar Corporation, they think that they are in the business of. They're actually in the business of is farming, and so because they, on the opposite end of the supply chain, is a farmer that has a lease with land that he wants to make as much money as possible from. So if they could see that, like, hey, planting industrial hemp, like not the one that has no THC, so it's not marijuana, if they could see that, like, hey, we have a bunch of farmers who actually just want to make money, as much money as possible, it doesn't actually have to be sugar, then they would probably make more money as well, along with the farmers. And so it's like McDonald's is like, yeah, in the business of food, but also really in the business of consistency. That everybody who shows up gets exactly what they want every single time. And so, and that it tastes the same the time before and the second time, and you go to one in the other side of the country and it tastes the same as the one on the first side of the country. And so, yeah, I feel like, you know, beetroot and all this stuff could be grown in Fiji, but I feel like Fiji Sugar Corporation and the cane growers of Fiji and all this stuff, they don't realize what business they're really, really in. Came after the fact, and so I'm just kind of going back over them. What is your advice to, it's from Elizabeth Marama, what is your advice to those who do not do well academically? Oh man, you gotta go into trades right now, I think. Like, people who are able to fix things and do really, really good work with their hands will be of high demand in the next like 5, 10, 15 years. So whether you can fix a vehicle like a truck or a car or a van, or you can do plumbing or electrical, like those things are going to be very, very high demand. So I'm also biased because I was a person who like didn't want to do anything academically, and so I don't know why I said it like that. On the tools.
Yeah, you were good with your hands. So.
And decent with my hands.
Yeah.
Always big fan of you guys, how to treat your family, how you treat your family. Hope to meet you guys, especially the boys. Oh, I should have read that before I read it. Thank you. Appreciate you, Manoa Nakara. Thank you for the love. You got anything there?
Just this article though.
Yeah.
Starlink's entry into Fijian market worries FNPF.
Worries FNPF.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. How?
The Fiji National Provident Fund,
Yeah.
FNPF.
I'm actually interested in this. This is very interesting.
The majority shareholder in ATH, which is the Telecom holdings, right? Says the license issued to Starlink and other similar satellite technologies in Fiji should be done on a level playing field and not as cherry-picking opportunities. The Fiji Times had inquired with FNPF how ATH and its subsidiaries would be affected once Starlink enters the market to provide satellite-based internet services. In his response, FNPF CEO Williame said the fund has been an investor in the telecommunications sector through ATH since 1998, with FNPF holding 72.6% shareholding in ATH, whose subsidiaries are Vodafone Fiji, Telecom Fiji, and Fiji International Telecommunications.
Right.
So, Mr. Williame said FNPF wasn't consulted before the government issued a spectrum license to Starlink in November last year. FNPF has been an investor in the telecommunications sector through... Yeah.
So everybody should have to play on a level playing field. You guys know that I'm on a live right now, right? Yeah? You guys want to be on the live too? Well, come sit here then. Don't sit on the side. Come eat your bongos in
He
front of
says
everybody.
Starlink and other similar satellite technologies offered a potentially useful means of connecting the remote and isolated areas of the country. However, because the fund does not have access to the operating conditions of Starlink's license, Mr. Williame could not specify how that company's operation would affect ATH. Therefore, it would be premature to make an assessment of the impact to our subsidiary and its related entities.
Dude, make better investments then. Like, oh gosh, you have competition now. Like, screw off. Like, you know what happens when like somebody else comes and opens a restaurant in my town?
Yeah.
What?
Get out of here.
You get out of here. You said I can go on the podcast.
Oh, okay.
Hey.
Okay, yeah. Oh, wait. Right. Punch your knee, your swollen knee. Dude,
Yeah.
like, I don't know, like, it's, yeah, it's going to hurt, obviously. You're just going to have to figure out a better way to do things and give people a reason to, like, not go with Starlink. I bet you it's expensive to get a Starlink satellite.
Yeah.
So, like, how about you start advertising about how, like, affordable your stuff is and how, like, you know, we've been here with you for years. Like, nothing has to change. You don't have to spend any more money. Like I mean, just market it a little bit. Like, you don't have to do anything different.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, obviously, it's gonna hurt. Like, it's called competition. It's called like a free market.
Well,
Dude,
they've been
take
like,
a hike.
yeah, it's good. I'm loving this. The Starlink will come and then, you know, they'll have to like do that.
Yeah.
Do free things, because they've been like, bro, the way they've been abusing even Vodafone.
Yeah.
The
Okay, because I
promotion
can't.
stuff.
Okay, because I can't. Oh, what do you mean?
Well, back in the days,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
they would dry us out, like,
Yeah.
like totally.
Yeah, for sure.
And then Digicel came, like, bro, their promotions, their package, and all that
Competing.
was way better.
Right,
Way,
yeah.
way better. And
That's
they were
what-
putting their, what do you call that?
Satellites or
Yeah.
the towers.
Yeah, the towers
Yeah.
on places where Vodafone usually didn't catch.
Right. Yeah.
So they got people there.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. And
I
so,
think. I think with like. One thing that is really. I can't badmouth anybody, not because like it's just like it doesn't do me any good, but like. Feel like they need to make. I mean, like employer contributions and employee contributions have all gone up for FNPF this year. Like it's like, what was that 14%? So 7 and 7, and now employer contribution has gone to 10%. and the employee contribution has gone up to 8%. So everybody has to give more. And so it's like, maybe your investments are struggling and now you're just making us, the end user, like pay more so that you can go and invest our money. You know what I'm saying? Do you see what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not trying to say something without saying something, but I'm also trying to say something.
Yeah.
Like it's
Trying to
weird
say
that we
something,
also,
like,
you know, have to pay more, and then they're like complaining about the competition on their investments.
Yeah.
It's like, well, maybe the interest rates worldwide have gone up, and so now you have to pay more for all the things that you own, and so you're just going to pass that on to like, you know, just like when the VAT went up, like we had to increase our prices.
Yeah.
Like you have to increase the price for the end user, but like now it's like, dude, I don't want to hear about it. The Woods Bar and Grill opened up in Sangaga. Like I'm afraid it's going to affect my market, like my market and like my revenue. It's like, dude, Kavitesh can open a restaurant if he wants. Like, just do better than him then.
Yeah.
Or like, just be different.
Yeah.
And like highlight how you're different.
Yeah.
Like actually maybe it's a healthy thing that he exists. You know, like whatever.
Yeah.
Love you, Kavi.
You want one more? Or
Sure, one
should we
more.
wrap that up?
Yeah, let's do one more.
Okay. Oh yeah, about this Drua launches bus packages for home games.
Oh, okay, okay. I haven't heard about this.
Yeah.
Did some good ones today.
Yeah, Fijian Drua bus packages have to be booked as a group of 60, which will allow each group to have one pickup and drop-off point.
Dude, hold up. You have to book as a group of 60?
Yeah.
Who's doing that?
It's the Fijian Drua. Yeah.
Who has 60 people to book a bus together? That sounds like a terrible program.
It is? Yeah? Maybe. Maybe.
They have to get
probably
60
trying
people?
something new, yeah.
Okay, so what is the story?
Alright. Evan says the new package is also designed to be simple for their fans to take up, more affordable than if they were to come individually and schedule conveniently with their bus partners so they can get home quickly after the match.
Oh.
So this is like after the match probably.
How about Fiji Airways does something for us in Van Level to get to VT level for the dual games?
Yeah,
Eh?
yeah.
No. Fiji Airways, you know what you need to do? You need to dress some of your planes with Fiji Rugby stuff. Like, you know how Alaska Airlines did Disney and like people do cool liveries? Like, you guys need to do something with your planes. That'd be sweet.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
So this package would be good for a village group, right?
Yeah,
Or
exactly.
Like all the players,
Yeah,
I guess.
yeah,
The church group or youth group, staff club, sports club,
True.
school group, or the
True.
OBs and OGs. Yeah, that'd be good for them.
Yeah.
Are you interested in watching the game? One of the games?
Yeah, we have to go to a
Weekend?
game, but we have to go to a game in Suva.
The ones in Silver, right?
I think so.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that'll probably be in May.
May?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
The first. There's only 2 games, right? In Silver.
Yeah, only 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think some of the better games are the ones that are going to be in Lotoko.
Lotoko.
Yeah. But I just want to go to the one in Suva.
So you, me, Croy,
Yeah. Me, you, and Koroy.
book a room.
Yeah.
Haspati. After that.
We'll host the official after party.
Yeah.
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 There you go. All right. All right, guys. Thank you guys for joining for the live podcast and a little bit of on the mat here. We're trying to combine them just simply because I have family visiting, and so I'm trying to spend as much time, family and friends, with them. And so thank you guys for joining. My name is Jonathan. Catch us on Monday on the mat at 4:30, and we'll do it all again. Love you guys. Thank you guys so much for the support, and we will see you on Monday. Have a great weekend.